Hey guys, today we are going to test the Fishing Boy Kirito skill. This is a free skill that you can get from the current fishing event. This is a very nice skill that you can give you a 31% critical rate at level 70, but there's a second effect that is not very descriptive. It is saying that when critical damage is below 10%, if 3 or more Asuna skill is equipped, the effect will be invalidated. We don't know how your critical damage can be lower than 10% since by default it should be at 50%, and what part of it is really invalidated when you have 3 or more Asuna skill. We'll focus on validating that part, but before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe for more SAO Integral Factor content. So for this test I'm going to use a lower level weapon. Also, I have no other skill equipped other than the Fishing Boy Kirito skill. As you can see, the critical rate is set at 36%, which means that the skill is not invalidated. So what is really being invalidated? Let's take a look. We are going to test it against the watermelon monster at low level. And I'm going to see what is the critical damage we can deal right now. Since my critical rate is at 36%, I should be able to deal critical quite consistently. As you can see, I deal damage around 1110 to 1120. And it is the same against the small watermelon or the big boss monster. So on my next test, I will equip 3 Asuna skill on my active slots. If you have seen my previous video, you'll notice that this kind of effect works even if you have it on your active slots. I only have 1 Asuna sword skill at this point, so I will equip a random rapier Asuna skill. We will now try against the watermelon monsters. One of the reasons why I'm choosing this watermelon monster is just because I have not completed the collecting the 20,000 watermelon to get the metal arts of combat. So it's probably faster to test it against the field, but please bear with me and just collecting watermelon as I test. Okay, so equipping the Asuna skill in active slot won't affect my stats, but as you can see, after a few hits here, my critical damage seems to be higher. So it is averaging at 1165 to 1175. So what does this mean? That it gives 10% more critical damage, but red color description usually means that it's a negative effect. So let's test it some more. Next thing, I'm going to remove this Kirito's passive skill. So I already removed all my active skills, and it will not make any difference. And I'll remove my Kirito passive. It will reduce my attack by 35 points, and we will see what the critical damage against the watermelon monster again. I will have low critical chance, so hopefully we can get a good sample of it. And as you can see, my normal damage is doing around 20 point less damage compared to before, which makes sense because my attack is lower. But if you notice, I've hit 2 critical damage so far with 1146, which is higher than when I equipped the Kirito skills with the higher attack point. So with Kirito skill, my critical is at 1110 to 1120, but without Kirito skill, with less attack, I can do critical around 1136 to 1146. So to summarize, what this Fishing Boy Kirito skill actually do is that when you equip the skill with less than 3 Asuna skills in the set, it will reduce your critical damage by 10%. If you have 3 or more Asuna skill in the set, your critical damage will go back to normal. Even with the critical damage reduction, I think this skill is still a really good skill that gives you 31% critical rate. If you get all 6, you can probably get up to 33%. Moreover, you can use this skill together with a precise attack 4, which normally gives 14%, which add up to 50% already. So that's it for the video. Bye now.